I do think liberals are going to be very happy when they immigrate to Canada. They need us. They better hope the United States doesn't roll over one night and crush them. Canada used to be one of our most loyal friends, and vice versa. I mean, Canada sent troops to Vietnam. Was Vietnam less containable and more of a threat than Saddam Hussein?
Canada did not send troops to Vietnam.
I don't think that's right.
Canada did not send troops to Vietnam.
Indochina?
No. Canada, Second World War, of course. Korea, yes.
I
Vietnam,
think you're wrong.
No, it took a pass on Vietnam.
I think you're wrong.
No, Australia was there, not Canada.
I think Canada sent troops. Well, I'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
Coulter never got back to us. But for the record, like Iraq, Canada sent no troops to Vietnam.
On the 9/11 widows, and in particular a group that had been critical of the administration, these self-obsessed women seemed genuinely unaware that 9/11 was an attack on our nation and acted as if the terrorist attack only happened to them. They believed the entire country was required to marinate in their exquisite personal agony. Apparently, denouncing Bush was an important part of their closure process, and this part is the part I really need to talk to you about. These broads are millionaires, lionized on TV and in articles about them, reveling in their status as celebrities and stalked by grieferazzis. I've never seen people enjoying their husband's death so much.
Yes.
Because they dare to speak out?
To speak out using the fact that they're widows. This is the left's doctrine of infallibility.
Coulter says most public schools are at best expensive babysitting arrangements. At worst, they are criminal training labs where teachers sexually abuse the children between drinking binges and acts of grand larceny. Joining us now, the author of Godless and Those Fine Words, Ann Coulter. Also joining us, Democratic strategist and Fox News contributor Kirsten Powers. You know, Ann, I've been wrong about you. I've been set straight by Megan Dowm of the LA Times, by Lee Salem of Universal Press Syndicate, who defends you, who says this is just trenchant satire, and that I have you all wrong. This is just a brilliant satire. The things you say, the things you write, when you say Tim McVeigh should have bombed the Times building, we should carpet bomb them to convert them to Christianity, when fragging is why we invented John Murtha. I should be laughing at this. These are old jokes. These are laughable, happy satire. Right?
I like that fragging is why we invented John Murtha.
Oh, you like that? You say, I'm even going to give you material now because I realize this is all comedic satire and that you're actually a liberal who's doing this to mock and parody the way conservatives think.
Well, it's not working very well if that were my goal.
I think that's
I think the Timothy McVeigh line was merely prescient after the New York Times has leapt beyond nonsense straight into treason.
So there you go again, once again reaffirming that we should bomb the New York Times
convention. And people were happy. They're Christian. They're tolerant. They defend America. They
Christian. So we should be Christian. It would be better if we were all Christian.
Yes.
We should all be Christian.
Yes. Would you like to come to church with me, Donnie?
So I should not be a Jew. I should be a Christian, and this would be a better place.
Well, you could be a practicing Jew, but you're not.
Okay, I actually am. That's not true. I really am. But so we would be better if people were no Jews, no Buddhists.
Well, whenever I'm harangued by
you can't believe that.
Liberals on diversity. No, it's true. I give all these speeches at mega churches across America, and the one thing that's really striking about it is how utterly, completely diverse they are, and completely unself-consciously. I mean, you walk past a mixed-race couple in New York, and it's like they have a chip on their shoulder, just waiting for somebody to say something, as if anybody would.
I don't agree with that.
And
maybe you have the chip looking at them. I see a lot of interracial couples, and I don't see any more or less chips there either way.
No, in fact, there was an entire Seinfeld episode about Elaine and her boyfriend dating because they wanted to be a mixed-race couple. So you're lying.
Because it's in a Seinfeld episode. Okay.
But I think that's reflective of what's going on in the culture. But it is completely striking that at these huge mega churches, the idea that the more Christian you are, the less tolerant you would be.
No, that's not my point. But you said we should just throw Judaism away and we should all be Christians then.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it's a lot easier. It's kind of a fast track.
Really?
You have to obey.
You can't possibly believe that. You can't possibly. You're too educated. You can't. You like my friend?
Do you know what Christianity is? See, we believe your religion, but you have to obey.
No. But
we have the fast track program.
Sure. We want to put you with the head of Iran. I mean, come on. You can't believe that.
The head of Iran is not a Christian.
No,
I don't know if you've been paying attention.
That's why Israel left the earth. I mean, no Jews?
No, we just want Jews to be perfected as they.
What really said you?
Yeah, no, that's what Christianity is. We
All right.
believe the Old Testament, but ours is more like Federal Express. You have to obey laws.
In my old
we
my
know
old
we're all
days, I would
sinners.
argue, when you say something absurd like that, there's no.
What's
debate there.
absurd?
Jews are going to be perfected. I'm going to go off and try and perfect
Well,
myself.
that's what
Ann
the
Coulter,
New
author
Testament
of
is.
If Democrats Had Any Brains, They'd Be Republicans, and if Ann Coulter had any brains, she would not say Jews need to be perfected. I'm offended by that personally. And when we have more Big Idea when we come back. Welcome back to the Big Idea break. Ann said she wanted to explain her last comment, so I'm going to give her a chance. So you don't think that was offensive?
No, I'm sorry. It is not intended to be. I don't think you should take it that way. But that is what Christians consider themselves, perfected Jews. We believe the Old Testament. As you know from the Old Testament, God was constantly getting fed up with humans for not being able to, live up to all of the laws. What Christians believe, this is just a statement of what the New Testament is that that's why Christ came and died for our sins. Christians believe the Old Testament. You don't believe our Testament.
You said your exact words were Jews need to be perfected. Those are the words.
No,
out of your
I'm
mouth.
saying that's what a
that's
Christian
what you said.
is.
Don't you see how hateful and anti-Semitic?
No.
And so, how do you not see? You're an educated woman.
That
How do you
isn't
not see
hateful
that?
at all.
Okay, but that's even a scarier thought. Okay.
No.
You
I don't
are-
want you being offended by this. This is what Christians consider themselves, because our testament is the continuation of your testament. You know that. So we think Jews go to heaven. I mean, Falwell himself said that. But you have to follow laws. Ours is Christ died for our sins. We consider ourselves perfected Christians. For me to say that for you to become a Christian is to become a perfected Christian is not offensive at all.
We will let the audience decide then, won't we? Ann Coulter, new book. More Big Idea straight ahead.
Should I be converted to Christianity? Second of all, since I don't have a magic carpet, what other roads do you suggest?
This University of Western student read aloud some of Ann Coulter's quotes. The first, that Americans should invade Muslim countries, kill their leaders, and convert them to Christians. Fatima Al-Dahar also referred to another quote where Coulter said Muslims should use magic carpets as an alternate mode of transportation.
As for catching Osama, it's irrelevant. Things are going swimmingly in Afghanistan. I mean, he's like a fading movie swimmingly now.
Things in Afghanistan are going horribly, but this is interesting. Osama bin Laden is irrelevant. The mastermind behind the Al-Qaeda attacks on the United States is completely irrelevant. Is that what you're saying?
Right. It was handed to Bill Clinton twice.
Oh, it's Bill
and
Clinton's
Bill Clinton
fault.
said no.
Yeah, because I think that actually George Bush was president in 2001.
I know you're trying to imitate Alan Combs, but at some point he does let me answer.
Let's go. Michael, why don't we talk about the things that the Democrats actually are doing about the fact that all of the Republicans have voted against all the things that Democrats have brought up, like increasing funding for border security, increasing funding for port security, increasing funding for airline security. I mean, isn't that true, Michael?
Real homeland security.
There's a growing body of evidence that radiation in excess of what the government's says are the minimum amounts you should be exposed to are actually good for you and reduce cases of cancer. The New York Times science section, for example, a few years ago reported on a study from Canada where all these women who had tuberculosis got an inordinate number of chest x-rays. Well, their breast cancer rate was lower than the general population. There were apartments put up in Taiwan in 1993 that accidentally contained an inordinate amount of cobalt-60, a radioactive substance. After 16 years, 10,000 occupants of these buildings being hit with 5 times what the government says is the minimum amount you should be hit with. The number of cancer cases they had, there were about 10,000 occupants, was only 5 cases. Now, for the general population in that same age group, a group of 10,000 Taiwanese should have gotten about 170 cases of cancer.
So why, if those things have happened, why isn't the established medical organizations or establishment saying that, some kind of radiation can ward off infections? Why aren't they saying?
Well, they are. They're not getting a lot of media attention for it. This guy, the coolest cat in my column is this Bernard Cohen at the University of Pittsburgh. He did a study of 90% of the counties in the U.S., and he looked at levels of radon, radioactive substance from the earth, and lung cancer rates. And they were inversely related so dramatically that it couldn't be explained by
some
cigarette
radiation radiation in the body acts as an agent to ward off cancer.
That's many scientists believe. As the New York Times science section has reported, it doesn't get press because...
So by your account, we should all be heading for the nuclear reactor leaking and kind of sunbathing out there in front of... you know, come on.
Well, interestingly... it's called hormesis, that's how it appears to be pronounced, I've only read about it, the beneficial effects of radiation. At a conference on hormesis at the University of Massachusetts a few years ago, the scientists come and talk about the beneficial effects of radiation. Then they went to a spa in Boulder, Montana, where people pay to go 85 feet into the ground, into a mine, in order to be exposed to excessive levels of radiation, because they think it's good for you.
But I want the audience to be very cautious about all this. It's all theoretical at this point.
But the point is that the media will not report this.
Of course not.
Because A, it's not sensationalistic to say, oh, humans are going to have two heads, and B, it's an anti-nuclear power
But I don't know if it would
thing.
be responsible at this point to make that a hard news thing. It's okay to kick it around like we are.
No, I think you should have some of these physicists on.
Well,
look, the one you had on last night was pretty copacetic about what's happening in Japan.
Listen to my point. You have to be responsible in a sense that the prevailing wisdom is there is a level of radiation that's going to hurt you and perhaps kill you. All you have to do is look at what happened here in New York City on 9/11. The people exposed just to the debris coming from the collapsed towers are having a myriad of health problems, all right? Health problems all day long. And there's a variety of them. So you have to err on the side of caution. What you say may be true. There may be some doses of radiation that in a human body can ward off infection. But in something like this, you have to get the folks out of there.
Okay, but
and you have to report you have to report worst case scenario.
But what you just described is not true. You say that what the scientific community says is that at some level radiation is bad for you. No, that is not what at least the news is reporting.
Well, all you have
they
to look
say
is,
the tiniest drop of radiation is dangerous, and the point is that is absolutely not
true. Some
true.
radiation will kill you, as we saw in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, when people were incinerated.
The counter-argument among the scientists, not among the journalists, among the scientists is there could be other complicating factors. Okay. Perhaps we're not counting correlations and not causations. It is not, this effect does not exist.
Right. Provocative as usual, Ann. Thank you very much.
I think you're being a misogynist is the least of your problems.
I am not a misogynist.
Let's go straight. I mean, come on. You deny that?
What is the evidence that I am a misogynist?
Every single thing you say about women.
Name one.
Name one.
Name one thing. Because this, I'm seriously, name one.
What do you think about Libya and Egypt, as long as I have you here?
What about them?
Are you in favor of us intervening in these two countries that didn't hit us on 9/11 solely for purposes of regime change?
Well, first of all, I didn't think we were intervening in Egypt. Are we?
We did.
What'd we do? What'd we do in Egypt?
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
I mean, intervene or military? I mean, there's a difference.
You mean we talked about it?
We talked about it. Okay. Well, we can talk.
Well, we didn't send any troops or anything.
Yeah, we
didn't fly any bombs.
Bombs or something.
We're not dropping bombs
not in Egypt.
No, just Libya.
No bombs in Egypt.
Just Libya.
No bombs. No Egypt bombs. No, just Libya. Libya bombs.
Libya bombs, no Egypt bombs.
No Egypt bombs.
Not yet, anyway.
We were threatening to, which is why Mubarak left.
No, we never threatened. No.
No, I think we did. Bush ran on, I was in the interview with Ethan Edelman.
Ethan Nadelman. Ann Coulter. We had Ann Coulter, who was supposed to be on the show about an hour and a half ago, is now on the phone as well. Ann?
Hello.
Hi, Ann. You're late, baby doll.
Somebody gave me the wrong number.
How did you get the right number? Just dialed randomly? Eventually you got through to our show?
No, my publicist emailed it to me, I guess, after checking with you. But I am really tight on time right now because I already had it.
All right, well, get lost.
Oh, my God.
Did you really just hang up on Ann
Coulter? Listen, you bitch. Don't call in an hour and a half late and tell me you're tight on time. Of course you're tight on time. You're an hour and a half goddamn late calling into the radio show. Just take your crappy book and go pitch it to your stupid cable outlets. We'll do a...
And this is the kitchen. We've got all kinds of snacks and cold drinks in here.
I don't see the refrigerator.
Oh, we just use Ann Coulter.
There's never anything good in here.